800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Well, we made it to Friday. Welcome in. Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. And what do we got coming up? Well, we'll talk everything from UFOs to the shooting at that White Sox game to skip the line efforts where now no longer are walk-ins available at the Secretary of State's DMV. You got to schedule an appointment. We'll have some opportunity for open phones. We'll talk with somebody who's throwing their hat into a race for the State House. And also, we'll get the latest on a lawsuit against the state's law limiting where you can sue the state. So stay tuned. That's just some of what's coming up here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. It's now 6:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The Labor Department is expected to report today that the United States economy added 170,000 jobs last month. According to the chief commercial officer at Manpower Group, the Federal Reserve's efforts to gradually tame inflation without going into recession are working. Inflation has dropped steadily since peaking in June of last year during a worldwide inflation spike and is now half the worldwide average. Gross domestic product continues to grow, rising at a 2.1% annual rate last quarter. Economists expect the unemployment rate to remain at 3.5% for August, barely above a 50-year low. The Labor Department reported Thursday that the number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits continues to fall. Eastern Illinois beat Indiana State Thursday night 27-0 in the season opener for both football teams. Eastern Illinois quarterback Pierce Holly threw for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. The visiting Panthers broke open a close game by scoring on 2 consecutive pick sixes in the final minute before halftime for an 18-0 lead. It was the first time Eastern has won a season opener since 2017 when they beat Indiana State on their way to their last winning season. Eastern visits Bowling Green next week. Nichols Park in Jacksonville will be the site of the 2023 Chautauqua, a free, family-oriented event running tonight and tomorrow. Entertainment under the big tent will include music, storytelling for both children and adults, juggling and magic, and presentations about life in Morgan County during the 19th century. Plenty of food vendors will be on hand for the celebration that starts Friday evening at 6 o'clock and continues all day on Saturday. A full schedule of events can be found at WMAY.com. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Conn's Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Conn's will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Conn's will have people complimenting you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Conn's a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466 or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
92.7 WMAY.
Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Nothing but blue skies and sunshine in the forecast. 83 degrees today with a low of 56 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 64. Sunday, sunny with a high near 90. Labor Day, sunny with a high near 91. And Tuesday, sunny with a high near 89 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Calling all purse lovers and bag collectors. The high demand Cardinals purse giveaway is back, and it's better than ever. On Saturday, September 2nd, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home a Busch Stadium exclusive Cardinals purse, thanks to Wells Fargo Advisors. This black handbag features a gold metal logo on the front and many upgraded compartments. Don't miss your chance to add this stylish purse to your collection. For tickets or info, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
On Sunday, September 3rd, the Cardinals wrap up their weekend series with the Pirates and pay special tribute to fan-favorite Cardinals moments. That day, 25,000 fans 16 and older take home an exclusive Cardinals moment flag presented by Air National Guard. It features players' names, slogans, and moments all selected by the fans. That's Sunday, September 3rd, the Birds, the Pirates, and the historic Cardinals Moments flag. For tickets and details, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Ozzie Smith. See you at the ballpark.
Are you looking for fair news coverage out of the nation's capital? Join the Center Square's Editor-in-Chief Dan McCaleb and DC Bureau Chief Casey Harper as they discuss all things coming out of Washington, D.C.
And as you said, I did a fact check on this because I really found it pretty misleading. Gas prices, yes, are down. But if you look at food prices, they increased.
No spin, just the news. Listen to the America in Focus podcast at americastalking.com or wherever you get your podcast.
It can happen easily. A few drinks becomes a few too many. It's time to go and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Lose count of how many times judges are changing up in all of these different cases I'm tracking. Good morning, Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, and the latest in litigation against Illinois' gun and magazine ban and other Illinois gun laws. Well, you've got the Myers v. Kelly case challenging the FOID card and also the venue limiting law that restricts where people can challenge laws of the state of Illinois to only Sangamon or Cook County. That case brought by attorney Thomas Magg had yet another judge change. We'll touch on that, but I know a lot of people still wanting to know what's going on in the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals. So no update on that case challenging Illinois' gun and magazine ban on Second Amendment grounds. And if you look at the docket, the last thing was August 14th, so over 2 weeks ago, when they had some filings back and forth concerning the case out of Hawaii and saying, hey, we have to consider this case out of Hawaii that ultimately said butterfly knife bans are unconstitutional, despite the argument being that they are dangerous and unusual. So interesting to see that we're still waiting. All right, I know people are losing their patience with the appeals court on what exactly is the timeline for them to release a ruling so it can get sent to the Supreme Court. But that's on the Second Amendment challenge that the gun and magazine ban violates the right to keep and bear arms. That's the charge that these plaintiffs groups from Southern District of Illinois and the Northern District of Illinois have in front of the appeals court. So still waiting on any kind of resolution there. But then you have the other case that is part of that down in the Southern District, and that's brought by Thomas Magg. And it's a case that originally started in Crawford County, but then it was transferred to federal court and then lumped in with all kinds of other cases in the Southern District where Judge Stephen McGlynn had the case, and he ultimately declared a preliminary injunction that lasted for 6 days. We know this history. We've been going over the history, but just so everybody understands, that Second Amendment challenge, that preliminary injunction was issued for only 6 days worth, up now in the appeals court. That's what's still pending, the Second Amendment challenge. But Thomas Magg has his vagueness challenge in front of the Southern District Judge, Stephen McGlynn. That's going to be October 11th. I've got that date circled on my calendar in the Southern District, East St. Louis Court. They'll have a hearing on a preliminary a summary judgment hearing. So for those of you, who know legal terms, this is going to kind of be rudimentary, but for others out there who've been tracking this and you're not necessarily as plugged in, listen, I get paid to watch this stuff and to break it down and to focus on it all day. I understand you guys out there are looking for some quick answers and ways to get on with your day so you can bring home the bacon, right? And take care of your family and enjoy life, because it's a wonderful gift that we have, and we have to enjoy every moment, right? But you also have to keep abreast to what's going on. So preliminary injunction is an initial phase. It's not on the merits, all right? It's not on the actual question. And that's what happened in the Southern District, a preliminary injunction. It's like a temporary restraining order out of state court, but in federal court, it's a preliminary injunction. So that's what went up to the appeals court on the Second Amendment question. Back down in the Southern District, you've got a different argument being raised by Thomas Magg of the vagueness of the law and saying that it's too vague to enforce, therefore it's unconstitutional. So there's a hearing October 11th for summary judgment, which could mean that the law is partially struck down if the judge agrees with Thomas Magg. So that, again, is October 11th, a summary judgment hearing in federal court against the gun and magazine ban, and we'll be watching to see what happens there. So that's the case challenging the state's gun and magazine ban. But in the other case that Thomas Magg has, he brought a case challenging the FOID card, and this was also filed in state court initially, but then it was transferred to federal court. And we had some movement this week. If you look at the docket, it's rather fascinating, again, just to kind of see where we've come from this time. And if you look at the docket, even just this week, you had, the attorney file a notice of consent or non-consent for a magistrate judge. And that was earlier this week. And then you had one judge changed, went from, Mark Beatty, no longer there. And then it was going to be Rena Daly. She no longer was assigned to the case. And then you had another judge change where assignment error by clerk. And then it looks like Magistrate Judge Beatty's no longer assigned to the case, being replaced by Judge Gilbert. So we reported that out, that Judge Gilbert, and this was on the 30th, all right, so 2 days ago, Judge Gilbert was taking over the case. But then when I posted this in particular, you've got somebody who reached out via Twitter and ultimately said that this case that Gilbert's taking, he was involved in an ethics complaint previously, and he's on the board of SIU, so he's stated he will recuse himself from any cases where the state is involved. So kind of doing some crowdsourcing here on Twitter. So you had Gilbert's question as to whether he's appropriately on the case. So you look back at the docket for the Myers v. Kelly case down in the Southern District, and yesterday there was another judge change. So Judge David Dugan is now the judge in that case that Magg has, challenging the FOID card. Judge Gilbert no longer assigned. And again, if you look at some of the response here, you can even see a case study of Gilbert and a complaint that was filed about possible conflicts of interest. So a judge changed there in the Myers v. Kelly case. Now Judge Gilbert no longer. You've got Judge David Dugan. Who's Judge David Dugan? Well, let's go and check out President Non-FUD on Twitter, who apparently, by the way, Twitter told me it's their birthday today, so look at that. So President Non-FUD, if you don't follow him, he does some good independent research of a lot of different things and does deep dives, and he found that this particular judge, Dugan, appointed by Trump, and the anti-gunners hate him because he's an NRA member. Remember that Illinois Supreme Court Justice Rochford, as a justice, lobbied or at a minimum attended a lobbying event with Moms Demand Action to push the very law she refused to recuse on. So no BS about recusal on this, anti-gunners. And they shared a couple of different images, including one that shows that he was indeed appointed by Trump, a Wikipedia entry, and then a message from the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights saying that in addition, Mr. Dugan is a longtime member of the National Rifle Association, quote, the extremist advocacy organization that has engaged in decades in massive lobbying campaigns to oppose common sense gun safety laws, this particular group said of Dugan. So interesting to see that. Again, I'm kind of losing track of what judges are following what, but there's a lot of different cases to track here. And of course, we're doing what we can to keep you updated on the very latest. All right. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And tons more coming up. All right. Follow me anywhere. Search Bishop on Air, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, watch the live stream, like, subscribe, share it up with your friends. Just search Bishop on Air. All right, let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on this Friday, heading into the weekend for a holiday weekend. Sunny today, the high of 82, the low of 57, then clear overnight into sunny skies for your Saturday, the high up to 87, the low of 64. Sunday, sunny with a high of 89. Labor Day, sunny skies, 90 the high. And then Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 88. Right now, 52 degrees at 619 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Here's what's happening right now at Green Certified West.
Not another goat dropping. Hey guys, another goat dropping.
A what?
The goats. They keep dropping the prices on all these quality pre-owned vehicles. I wasn't what I was expecting.
The goats are just doing what they do best, giving the Green Certified West customers their very best deals and amazing customer service.
These prices are too low. We have a business to run. Hey, you, goat, not another dropping on my lot.
Come see the Goat Squad at Green Certified West for your very best deal.
Looking to buy your next home or considering listing? My wife and I recommend choosing RE/MAX Professionals of Springfield, Fritz Pfister. Working with Fritz to find our new home in Sangamon County was truly a wonderful experience. He's prompt, responsive, and we had constant communication. He was committed to serving our needs and made our home buying experience an absolute pleasure. RE/MAX Professionals of Springfield, Fritz Pfister, 217-652-7653. 217-652-7653. Buying or selling a home? Fritz makes it easy.
It can happen so easily. A few drinks become a few too many. It's time to go, and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful you'll make every move matter. Locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America N.A.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hendricks Home Furnishings is having their Smith Brothers of Bern factory authorized sale. For a limited time only, this premium American-made upholstery line is 15% off on all in-stock and special order sofas, sectionals, and chairs. Smith Brothers is meticulously crafted for comfort, longevity, and style. Do not miss this opportunity. Sale ends September 11th. Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners on Route 4 in Verdon and at hendricks.tv.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
But the fact is, based upon the information available to us, I see virtually no possibility that the gunshots came from within the ballpark. It's totally safe to be in this ballpark. I don't think a gun has ever been, has gotten past the caller from the police department last night.
All right, so that is the White Sox, Jerry Reinsdorf, the chairman, talking about the gunshot that has everybody really just kind of confused as to what happened a couple of days ago over the weekend at the White Sox game where you had somebody shot. It's pretty incredible. Back at it with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Let's get into the latest here because the story just keeps on getting more and more strange when you start looking at these details. We'll hear the full statement there from Jerry Reinsdorf, the White Sox chairman, in just a moment. But wanted to start off with just an overview. So we had the couple individuals who suffered some kind of gunshot wound in Chicago during a White Sox game, and it led to questions as to where this shot came from. You've got Jerry Reinsdorf, the chairman of the White Sox, saying that they don't think the gunshot came from within the stadium. And initial indication was that it may have been from a shot fired over a mile away outside of the stadium, up in the air, and then it came down and struck several people. So let's go ahead and take a look at the video here, which is kind of fascinating because it's a wide shot, and I did zoom in quite a bit. But go ahead and pull this up so that you can see this if you're following along online. But you've got the wide shot. You don't really see much, but just above the State Farm sign on the left, in the middle of it, if you look up, you'll see a little bit of activity. You really can't see it on the wide shot, but of course with digital video, I was able to expand, enhance, and you can see here the moment when it seems to happen, and it's right in the middle of the screen. All of a sudden, a woman looks down, and then everybody starts looking down, and you can see some commotion, and there's uncertainty of what's going on, and then all of a sudden some people start waving down others down the aisle and trying to assess what exactly happened here. Because I'm sure the report is that somebody suffered a gunshot to the leg, and somebody else had a graze wound. So I'm sure that there was a fair amount of blood in that area. But once they assessed what happened, at least that somebody was bleeding, you have people trying to wave down authorities to come in and check that out. So that's, the video that at least has been shared online showing what exactly may have transpired there. And when you look, and let's take a look at it again, when you look, it doesn't really seem like people are alerted to a gunshot. It's just that one woman who initially has the kind of moment of realization that something happened. And again, watch this again. She sitting there fine. Oh, something happened. Nobody else looked around until she started looking down. So, yeah, there's some interesting things going on with this case, and it is baffling. But, of course, it wasn't just the baseball game that was allowed to continue. They finished the game. I think this happened sometime in the fourth inning, but they had a concert lined up that evening, an I Love the 90s concerts. And one of the performers, Vanilla Ice, of all people, he took to social media on TikTok and shared these thoughts about, I guess encouraging words for Chicago.
To the city of Chicago, to the state of Illinois, to all of the organization of all baseball in general, just they didn't deserve this. And the White Sox facility is first class, second to none. The police did a great job, and definitely they're going to make secure, in the future for anything. I guarantee you that. You should see them, but they didn't deserve this. They're just playing baseball. They just showed up for their fans to play baseball, and they just didn't deserve this. So I hope that the city and the state and the country supports, the White Sox, because they are a great organization and a beautiful ballpark. You should see it. And the city of Chicago is amazing. I've been coming here since I was a kid, and I love it. I love the thriving of the city and just how, the energy and the pulse and the beauty and the museums and so many restaurants and things to do here. So, I'm here now. Look at this. You got the beautiful lake out there. Come on, guys. This is Chicago. And I know you guys can pull together. I know it. So support the White Sox. Get out there, and we'll be back. And we'll do the I Love the 90s tour again right here. So thank you guys for the support, but asking you guys to support the White Sox. All right? All the best to you.
What's his real name?
Go Ninja Go.
I forget. It's like Van Winkle or something. I can't remember. Put a shirt on, Vanilla Ice. Put a shirt on. All right. So yeah, that was after the concert was canceled and the details started coming out about two individuals injured by a gunshot. And a lot of questions as to where it came from. You've got the White Sox chairman yesterday, Jerry Reinsdorf, laying out his understanding after talking with police and looking at all kinds of video evidence as well. And he lays out saying that, they don't think that the gunshot came from inside the stadium.
The thing I want to talk about is I spoke to Superintendent Waller from the police department last night, and he authorized me to tell everybody that regardless of what has been said in the past by anybody, the police have not ruled out the possibility or the probability that the gunshots the other night came from outside the ballpark. I don't want to comment on the specific details because the police are still investigating. They haven't come to a final conclusion. But we have done a lot of investigation. We have gathered a lot of facts. And without going into the detail, because I don't want to influence the police decision, but the fact is, based upon the information available to us, I see virtually no possibility that the gunshots came from within the ballpark. It's totally safe to be in this ballpark. I don't think a gun has ever been, has gotten past our security. And I think ultimately that will come out, and I'm hopeful that the police department will complete their investigation as soon as possible.
So you've got Reinsdorf saying that they don't believe that the shot came from within the ballpark. And a police statement that was released to media yesterday says, as Interim Superintendent Fred Waller said earlier this week, Chicago Police Department detectives are actively investigating every avenue surrounding the circumstances of how this shooting incident transpired. Updates will be provided as soon as they're available. Also, earlier in the week, you had the woman's lawyer who did she somehow sneak a gun in and do a desk pop? If you don't know what a desk pop is, it's a term used for a negligent police officer who is at his desk and all of a sudden shoots himself in the foot somehow. It's a desk pop. So is that what happened while sitting there in the stands? Again, if you review the video, you don't really see anybody else react to a gunshot, right? It's a pretty distinct sound. But when you watch that video and go back and check it out, that does not seem to be what happened. Again, looking closely, you've got people just sitting there enjoying the game, and then all of a sudden, the woman in the middle of the frame, obviously sees something happen. Oh my gosh, what happened? And then everybody else starts looking. So fascinating to see all this transpire, with the woman's attorney saying that she denies bringing a firearm into the stadium and further denies having anything to do with the discharge of a firearm at the stadium. We will continue to investigate this matter further and pursue justice on behalf of our client, who sustained serious personal injuries as a result of the shooting. So the mystery continues for what happened at the White Sox stadium over last weekend. Well, I could go through a ton of other headlines of other shootings happening in Chicago and the rage of age, people who are killed or injured by gunshots. It's staggering. It's day after day. It's not just on the weekends, and it's not just in highly populated areas like at a ball game. So we'll see what happens over this weekend. All right, Springfield's Morning News. Happy Labor Day weekend. 6:33 now. Coming back, we'll hear the back and forth about the law that would ultimately allow for the state to shut down crisis pregnancy centers and how that's on hold. But is the Attorney General's office going to appeal a preliminary injunction? Stay tuned. We'll get to that next. 6:34. Let's check headlines.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, Eastern Illinois beat Indiana State Thursday night 27-0 in the season opener for both football teams. Eastern Illinois quarterback Pierce Holly threw for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. The visiting Panthers broke open a close game by scoring on 2 consecutive pick sixes in the final minute before halftime for an 18-0 lead. It was the first time Eastern has won a season opener since 2017 when they beat Indiana State on their way to their last winning season. Eastern visits Bowling Green next week. The Blue Grouch will be the scene tonight when the Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band will play live. The band has been nominated 3 times for WMAY awards and have just released a chart-topping album called Dance Songs for Hard Times. The music starts at 6 o'clock. There's a $15 cover charge, and the Blue Grouch can be found at 510 West Maple Avenue South in Springfield. Sangamon County's second cardboard regatta of the summer will take place this Sunday starting at 1 o'clock at the Sheedy Shores Wine Garden in Loami. The regatta is a charity event benefiting Special Olympics Illinois. Awards will be given in various categories, including Best Design, Fastest Boat, and Fastest Sinker. Registration is $50, and anyone wanting to participate has until 5 o'clock today to register. The Labor Department is expected to report today that the United States economy added 170,000 jobs last month. According to the chief commercial officer at Manpower Group, the Federal Reserve's efforts to gradually tame inflation without going into recession are working. Inflation has dropped steadily since peaking in June of last year during a worldwide inflation spike and is now half the worldwide average. Gross domestic product continues to grow, rising at a 2.1% annual rate last quarter. Economists expect the unemployment rate to remain at 3.5% for August, barely above a 50-year low. The Labor Department reported Thursday that the number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits continues to fall. Springfield Police Chief Ken Scarlett honored Officer Jake Atwood with the Life Saving Award yesterday. Officer Atwood witnessed an accident on July 24th where a bicyclist was injured after being struck by a truck at the intersection of Veterans and Lindbergh. The off-duty officer rendered first aid to a life-threatening head injury. Chief Scarlett noted that Atwood's quick actions played a major role in saving the life of the injured bicyclist. Springfield's Oyster and Beer Festival kicks off on Saturday at noon. The festival will be held at the Inn at 835, located at 835 South 2nd Street in Springfield, and will feature over 5,000 gourmet oysters and 50 different types of craft beers to wash them down. Visitors can enjoy live music and local food trucks, and the proceeds go to local charities. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
This summer, Coors Light wants you to retire, even if it's only temporary. Take a break from your 9 to 5 for 9 holes of golf.
4.
Trade those spreadsheets for a bingo card.
7. Oh, bingo!
Or swap your office chair for a water aerobics floaty.
Cool noodles up, everyone!
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement. Coors Light, made to chill. Copyright 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
It's the biggest craft beer festival in Central Illinois. The Springfield Oyster and Beer Festival, presented by Clock Tower Community Bank, is Saturday, September 2nd from noon to 5 at the Inn at 835. Your ticket will allow your taste buds to travel through 150 craft beers and ciders from over 50 breweries. Food trucks will be on hand in case you need something more than the 6,000 coastal oysters. Entertainment from Chris Camp and his Blues Ambassadors, and Off the Wall. Proceeds benefit local charities. Tickets online now at sobfestival.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Nothing but blue skies and sunshine in the forecast. 83 degrees today with a low of 56 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 64. Sunday, sunny with a high near 90. Labor Day, sunny with a high near 91. And Tuesday, sunny with a high near 89 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
Why do residents love Springfield Supportive Living? Just ask Mike.
I am so glad that I came here. I really appreciate that they have Wi-Fi here because I like playing on my tablet and looking up things and playing games, and I'm just happy that they have that.
With an experienced staff every step of the way.
I get along with them really well. They're a lot of fun, and it's just been a really good experience.
SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Stop waiting to get better quality sleep. Labor Day at Hendricks Home Furnishings is your chance to save big on top mattress brands. Feel the trusted support of Sealy, experience the legendary comfort of Tempur-Pedic, and discover the one-of-a-kind craftsmanship of Stearns & Foster, all with savings up to $800 off select adjustable sets, now until September 18th only. Find better sleep today at Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners, Route 4 in Verdon, and on the web at hendricks.tv.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. Looking for a pet-friendly hotel? They're getting harder to find, and they often come with restrictions and hefty cleaning fees. But there are a few hotels that go above and beyond to accommodate your favorite dog or cat. The Kimpton Anglers Hotel in Miami, there are no restrictions on size, weight, or number of pets you can bring to your room. And it includes pet beds, water bowls. At the Fairmont Copley Plaza in Boston, your pet could play with the hotel's own canine ambassador, a black lab named Corey. And then stop at the front desk biscuit bar. At the Cypress Inn in Carmel, California, your pet will not only get a blanket, treats, and other goodies, there's a special doggy menu at the hotel's bar and restaurant. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute.
When it comes to hiring, you don't need to be doing all the searching, screening, and interviewing yourself. What you need is Indeed, the end-to-end solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credits.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Well, I'm not the one who takes that on. That's the job of the Attorney General. And I do not know, he has not informed me what his plans are for that. But I will say that, as you know, that bill was passed because there are people who work with those crisis pregnancy centers that misinform people. And it's under those circumstances where people are lying, misinforming, in which that law takes effect and people can sue if they're misinformed and given bad information.
That's Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday being asked about whether or not the state's going to appeal a preliminary injunction against a state law he signed that allows the Attorney General's office to go after crisis pregnancy centers if they don't, say, for instance, offer up abortion as a service. And they could be charged with deceptive practices and possibly shut down after hefty fines. So what is the latest on this status? Well, we reached out to the Attorney General's office, and they did not respond to whether or not they're going to appeal. We'll take a look at the docket in this case because a group of pregnancy centers sued the state after it was signed in July, and then there was a preliminary injunction put into place. But yesterday, if you missed it, we did talk with Mark Glennon. He's the founder of WirePoints, and he's been focusing on the First Amendment and the importance of understanding how state law may be going against First Amendment rights. So here is Mark Glennon yesterday in a conversation we had with him discussing what exactly is going on with this particular law and how it's impacting Illinoisans' First Amendment rights.
Greg, it's an onslaught. This is the assault on free speech, in my view, is a direct threat to democracy. It couldn't be simpler. If you don't have free speech, you don't have the First Amendment. You don't have democracy. This is at the federal and state level. Unfortunately, Illinois has been part of it. For example, the bill passed and signed into law recently that restricts the activities of pro-life family counseling centers passed into law was just a flagrant violation of free speech. Fortunately, the federal courts still recognize the First Amendment, and a federal court struck that down immediately, put an injunction on it, and really ridiculed the law and Kwame Raoul's defense of it.
They did quite a bit. And let's take a look at that docket a bit here. And if you look on the federal court's websites for PACER, which is like a service that you have to pay for and whatnot, but you see minute entries. And I want to pull this up because before the preliminary injunction was issued, you had Kwame Raoul attempt to try to file an extension, which we've seen elsewhere as well, right? We've heard this time and again in other cases. where the Attorney General's office tries to file an extension for a reply. So they did that on August 3rd, but then the judge immediately, Judge Ian Johnston, said that the motion's meritless on many levels, too many to explain in a minute order. Defendant has been given timely notice of this hearing and was served last week. This lawsuit should not come as a surprise to the defendant. So the judge then was not too happy with them. But then when they had the hearing and they actually proceeded forward, you had a preliminary injunction issued. And in that preliminary injunction, halting the law, it ultimately said that the law was stupid, quote, stupid, and likely unconstitutional as something that could abridge on free speech. Mark Glennon elaborating a bit more on that yesterday when we chatted with him here on WMAY.
Yes, it was totally one-sided. The allegation was that some of the counseling centers were harassing abortion patients as they went into abortion centers. And that would be inappropriate if it's happening. But this bill completely restricted their ability to pass out literature anywhere in the area. And it was one-sided. It said if the pro-choice people, the abortion center, did the same thing, there was no liability there, no exposure. That's called viewpoint discrimination. So that was a clear red line that legislatures cannot pass. And that really irritated the court.
And again, when you look at the docket for this case, you don't see that the state has appealed that preliminary injunction. Asking Governor J.B. Pritzker yesterday, my guy Andrew Hensel got this out of him.
Well, I'm not the one who takes that on. That's the job of the Attorney General. And I do not know, he has not informed me what his plans are for that. But I will say that, as you know, that bill was passed because there are people who work with those crisis pregnancy centers that misinform people. And it's under those circumstances where people are lying, misinforming, in which that law takes effect and people can sue if they're misinformed and given bad information.
But that law is on hold with a preliminary injunction that the governor says he's not informed if they're going to appeal that. Is it politically possible that it'll be appealed?
I think Raul will let it die. He doesn't have the guts to appeal it. I wish he would. The Seventh Circuit would then further reaffirm what's going on here. They may try to amend the law. They'd have to really gut it to make it constitutional, or really just let it die. If he just lets it die, it would go to a full trial. I'm sure he wouldn't want that because the judge would just rule the same way that he did preliminarily.
So again, the Attorney General, does he have the guts?
Greg, it's an onslaught.
Mark Glennon touching base with us yesterday. Good to hear some of that conversation, and just want to keep you updated on the latest with that case as well. It is Springfield's Morning News. Follow me anywhere. Bishop On Air. Gmail is the email address, bishoponair@gmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all kinds of social media channels. One brand, Bishop On Air. All right, stay tuned. 649 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's obvious. We're being let down by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media are distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the real concerns of American families. Countries we're at odds with are hoarding food, financial systems are strained, and supply chains remain too fragile. We can tell something is coming, so we're preparing. Folks are getting into self-reliance and investing in emergency food storage. And My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, makes it easy for you to have peace of mind knowing you're prepared. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure some emergency food kits. There's a dozen to choose from that contain tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. And while you're there, Stock up on water filtration, heirloom seeds, and emergency gear, too, at MyPatriotSupply.com. It's time to prepare today. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
If you want a bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hendricks Home Furnishings is having their Smith Brothers of Bern factory authorized sale. For a limited time only, this premium American-made upholstery line is 15% off on all in-stock and special order sofas, sectionals, and chairs. Smith Brothers is meticulously crafted for comfort, longevity, and style. Do not miss this opportunity. Sale ends September 11th. Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners on Route 4 in Verdon and at hendricks.tv.
Do you like gadgets? Techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone, like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With the virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs blood. Do your part today and you could save someone's life with Impact Life. And during Impact Life's Good Giving promotion this summer, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible to receive a $25 gift card or continue the giving and donate your gift to support local teachers. Please, give what's in your heart because we are changing the world together. Learn more at bloodcenter.org.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
A new website from the military is all about UFOs. If you head over to www.aaro.mil, you'll see the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO. And this website's set up. It's got a director's message there. It's their team of experts leading the U.S. government's efforts to address unidentified anomalous phenomenon, also known as UFOs, using a rigorous scientific framework and data-driven approach. Since its establishment in July 2022, AARO has taken important steps to improve data collection. So if you look at the website, some of the reporting trends they show, they've also got a U.S. government UAP-related program activity reporting. That's coming soon, but even if you go further, you could see official UAP videos. And there you click in, and you can actually see different videos. Let's take a look at this one here. It says South Asian Object 1, whatever that is. Let's go ahead and let's take a close look. All right, shows an unclassified frame here. It shows a little bit of a close-up of what looks like some kind of drone type of activity of sorts. Then what? You see, did we see anything there? It's a short little video from January 15th. Don't really see much. Oh, there it is. It just went right across the screen. You see that? All right. So yeah, that's an official government-released video of a UFO or a UAP. Let's take a look at some of the other videos they've got lined up here, where you've got another one. How many videos they got? Wow. Okay. So about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. South Asian Object Sensor 2. Let's check this one out. All right. So we'll magnify that a bit. Zoom in and hit play. All right, unclassified footage. Where do we see this thing? It's all black and white, different imagery. Oh, this little dot in the screen, either that's a fly flying in front of the camera or that is a UAP that is doing some wild maneuvering. Can you guys see that? And this is why you got to watch online, right? Because we pull this stuff up. All right, so radio is no longer just over the airwaves. If you get a chance, you're going to want to go back and check out this video. Again, Bishop on Air. Just search YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever. But yeah, fascinating. So again, just some of the different images. It looks like they zoomed in on that. Why is it so dark in the middle of their sensors? More videos. Let's see here. Middle East Object. We've seen this one, I think. This one was actually featured during testimony in front of members of Congress. And this is fascinating because you see that orb that just comes right across the screen and something starts tracking it. I'm going to rewind that and take another look. But you see this orb that just darts right across the screen and they try to track it. And this orb is just hovering over an area of the Middle East. They call it the Middle East Object. So that's another fascinating video. You could probably spend all day here. What's this one? It's a video of near flyby. It's actually got audio on it. Can't really see much. Don't really see much. Oh, just saw a little blip. All right, did you see that? Okay, well, so there you go. A little bit of UFO activity for you on a Friday. Why not? Right? So you can get your day started and say, hey, guys, you're on the water cooler. Did you hear about that new website that the military set up to show all the footage they've got of unidentified aerial phenomenon? But you got to show your sophistication. It's no longer UFOs, and it's no longer unidentified aerial phenomenon. It's an unidentified anomalous phenomenon, because apparently these things aren't just being seen in the sky, they're also being seen coming out of the ocean and then into the sky and then back into the ocean. So no longer aerial, I guess UAP is unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Who knew?
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Jim Ryan. Plenty of company if you are taking to the roads or to the sky for this long Labor Day holiday weekend. Americans are traveling by the millions.
The dog days of summer are almost over. It's been the busiest summer for air travel on record. The TSA expects to screen more than 14 million passengers over the Labor Day holiday weekend. That's up almost 11% from last year, with its busiest day expected tomorrow.
That's ABC's Melissa Adon. AAA says the busiest time to drive is today between 11 in the morning and 9 at night. The investigation continues into yesterday's deadly apartment building fire in Johannesburg, South Africa. Authorities say the abandoned building was filled with homeless squatters. At least 74 people were killed, including 12 children. The city apparently owns the building but says drug cartels had taken it over. Dramatic 911 calls are out in this week's deadly campus shooting at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Close the doors and stay inside. There's an active shooter.
The audio obtained by ABC TV affiliate WTVD, Tai Lei Chi, is accused in the shooting death of Associate Professor Ziji Yan. The professor was the suspect's faculty advisor. More 911 audio is released in a deadly shooting at a restaurant and bar outside Los Angeles.
Mike, where you shot? The left side.
As 911 callers pleaded for help, behind them the carnage was unfolding. 911 call takers listened in.
Is that shots ringing out? More shots?
Friends of those who had been shot tried to save lives while bullets were flying, putting pressure on bullet holes while it continued.
Boy, gunfire. I know you're out of that point. Can you see the shooter right now?
Police arrived and during a gun battle killed the shooter. In the end, 3 victims were killed and more were injured. Alex Stone, EBC News.
It's a big day for federal student loan borrowers. The pandemic pause on payments ends today. The first payments start coming due next month. This is ABC News.
Paid for by government.com. Have you heard? Morgan's silver dollars are back for 2023. For the 100th anniversary, the U.S. Mint released the first legal tender Morgans in 100 years. They sold out instantly. Now, Morgan's silver dollars are back in 2023, minted in 99.9% pure silver, but only 275,000 coins were minted, and they will go fast. The entire market and experts agree this is a big deal and an amazing opportunity for both coin and silver buyers. Just call 1-800-859-1518 and you are guaranteed a 2023 brand new uncirculated 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. But with limited quantities, you must call now. To learn more, call 1-800-859-1518. Plus, you'll receive a free bonus Patriots pack, new and improved, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-859-1518 now to secure your new 2023 Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-859.
All right, coming up this hour, we've got plenty more to get to, including a conversation with a law firm that is filing an independent lawsuit against the state's law limiting where you can file lawsuits. So we'll try to unpack that and make it more clear. You guys track that. We'll talk to a law firm that's filing a lawsuit against a law that limits where you can file lawsuits against laws. Can't make this stuff up. So that's coming up after 7:30. Also, we'll give you an opportunity for some open phone time later on this hour. But up next, we got to talk with somebody who's throwing their hat in the ring to be a state representative. Also, we'll get you the latest on the Secretary of State's operations, because today, no longer can you just walk into the Secretary of State's DMV and get taken care of. Now you got to make an appointment. But it's all in an effort to keep you from having to wait hours on end. So we'll get to all of that coming up here next with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. I'm Greg Bishop. It's now 7:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, Sangamon County's second cardboard regatta of the summer will take place this Sunday starting at 1 o'clock at the Sheedy Shores Wine Garden in Loami. The regatta is a charity event benefiting Special Olympics Illinois. Awards will be given in various categories, including Best Design, Fastest Boat, and Fastest Sinker. Registration is $50, and anyone wanting to participate has until 5 o'clock today to register. Information at WMAY.com. Springfield's Oyster and Beer Festival kicks off on Saturday at noon. The festival will be held at the Inn at 835, located at 835 South 2nd Street in Springfield, and will feature over 5,000 gourmet oysters and 50 different types of craft beers to wash them down. Visitors can enjoy live music and local food trucks, and the proceeds go to local charities. Car enthusiasts will not want to miss the first annual Chatham Plaza Cruise-In on Saturday beginning at 10 a.m. The Range Bourbon and Brew is sponsoring the event, which will feature live music all day, giveaways, shaved ice, hot and ready meals from Chatham Cafe Catering, and a large outdoor beer garden to enjoy the festivities. Anyone with a car they'd like to show is welcome to park in the display area with no need to pre-register. More information at WMAY.com. Springfield Police Chief Ken Scarlett honored Officer Jake Atwood with the Life Saving Award yesterday. Officer Atwood witnessed an accident on July 24th where a bicyclist was injured after being struck by a truck at the intersection of Veterans and Lindbergh. The off-duty officer rendered first aid to a life-threatening head injury. Chief Scarlett noted that Atwood's quick actions played a major role in saving the life of the injured bicyclist. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing. I just call it smart. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second-side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Everywhere you are with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Nothing but blue skies and sunshine in the forecast. 83 degrees today with a low of 56 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 64. Sunday, sunny with a high near 90. Labor Day, sunny with a high near 91. And Tuesday, sunny with a high near 89 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. You know, I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Reel in everything you need to catch fish at V. Hayes Bait and Tackle, 422 South 11th Street in Springfield. Mad Cats, Crappie Monster, Zoom, Catfish Sumo, Daiwa, Zebco, Eagle Claw, Ancient Mariner, Kamagatsu, Guggen, and Skipjack. Plus, get your fishing license, even hunting license, and live bait including minnows and crickets. More inventory arriving daily. Check out their new store today. Find them on Facebook, too. Open 7 days a week, 5 a.m. until 6 p.m. V. Hayes Bait and Tackle, BHAYES. Springfield's newest addition for everything fishing.
Clock Tower Community Bank, a division of Morton Community Bank, is more than just a place to keep your money. They care about you, your family, your favorite business, and the charities you support. Clock Tower Community Bank offers a full range of personal and business banking services. With 6 convenient locations in Springfield and Chatham, our experienced local bankers are here for you in every way. They're local people making local decisions for local success. So if you're looking for a bank that's everything you want in a community bank, visit Clock Tower Community Bank today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Elections are getting closer than you think. Not only do we have the November 2024 presidential election, but you've also got individuals who are vying for various offices at the Illinois State House. Every state representative seat is up every 2 years. You've got a collection of different state Senate seats that are up for election. But of course, before the November election, you've got a primary that's set up in Illinois in March. So a lot of attention is going to be focused, of course, on the presidential election and who's going to get the GOP nominee from Illinois. But you've also got some other primaries that are going to be happening for those state house seats. And to talk about a particular race that they're jumping into, we're joined now by Kelvin Coburn. He joins us via Zoom to talk about his candidacy for the state house. Kelvin, thanks for taking time with us this morning. Tell us what you're running for.
Thanks, Greg. I'm running for the 95th state rep, and I'm running as a grassroots candidate. You know, as a conservative and a Republican, I mean, the mopping we took in the last election, I decided I had to get up and do something. You know, the seat was vacant by Tim Butler, and it's being served by Mike Coffey right now. And they were selected by the people, and I thought that it would be best that the people decide their representation. So it's not that Mr. Coffey is good, bad, or indifferent. It's just that, you know, when people are appointed, I think the people should always elect their representatives, not be picked.
So obviously, this is a announcement of a primary challenge of Mike Coffey, and if indeed he does take on that seat in the primary, what's going to set you apart from Mr. Coffey?
I think the whole idea that we're going to unify, and I want to get a grassroots movement going where the grassroots people are going to be contacted through email on each and every bill. I'm going to commit to term limits, and I want the grassroots people to select their next candidate, not from a committee, not from a house. I want the grassroots to say, hey, Kelvin, okay, thank you. It's your second term. We want Joe Q. Public. I'll have Joe Q. Public shadow me that last term. I'll endorse and I'll pass it on. I want to carve a way that the grassroots has a constant contact with their state reps and a constant participation in picking their candidates. So we have to get back to preserving our gun rights, parental rights. We have to put up a good fight. And the fight is not with each other on Facebook. The fight is going to be on the state floor. And you need a fighter to go in there.
Kelvin Coburn joins us. He's running as a Republican in the 95th district? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
95th.
And we've got that primary coming up in March. And of course, you mentioned that the person in the seat right now, Mike Coffey, was appointed by the local Republican Party after Tim Butler essentially stepped down and retired from the state house to go on to another gig. This happens all the time. On the Republican side, on the Democrat side, where somebody walks off the job before the end of their term, and then you get the local party picking who's going to be the next one, and then that person runs for re-election as an incumbent, and so on. How can we best combat against that?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, the grassroots movement, the people. First of all, it was terrible that Mr. Butler ran an entire election, got elected by the people of trust, and said, oh, thanks for electing me, guys. Bye. I'm out of here. So first you got to ask yourself, how did Tim Butler get selected in the first place? So
and wasn't he also appointed to the job?
Right. Right. So the problem is we have a disengagement between your everyday people. I mean, I've been through the 95th, from playing golf at Long Bridge to going to the Chatham Cafe or being part of the parents group or going shooting in Rochester. I know these people and I know them personally, and they're tired and they're frustrated. So when you get a grassroots movement, then we're just deciding to say, hey, this is our district. We're going to pick our candidates from here on out, and no bones can tell us any different.
Calvin Coburn joins us. If people want more information about you and your candidacy, where can they find it?
It's coburnforhouse.com. And you can also contact us on Facebook at Calvin Coburn for the 95th on Facebook. There's a page out there.
So if you're interested, be sure to check that out. But Calvin, it's a state Democrat run. We've got Democrats that control the House, that control the Senate, that control all constitutional offices. I don't know if the Republican Party is going to be able to turn that around in this next election, but if you were to take on the seat, how would you best, I guess, advance conservative values in a Democrat-dominated state house?
One thing about Democrats is, they're cry bullies, and they have to write things down. And when you have to write things down, I'm going to make sure that my constituents know how to read appropriations. I'm going to try to empower all of our auditors who is bound by independence and objectivity to get involved in the process. Because right now, when legislation is passed and bills are passed, I've seen situations where there was witness slips against bills, and then the legislators put them through. So I think one of the things, when you get people involved and you teach them the process, and we can just follow the money. We can just look at the grants. We can look at the bills. We can look at, when you follow the money, the corruption always pops out, because transparency is the enemy of fraud. So when we get our people in there, let's go to Susan Mendoza's website. Let's go and see how much these agencies are spending. See, I love my auditors, and I'm part of this community. So I plan to put auditors in every facet on my campaign.
One of my favorite things as a reporter is reading audit reports. Quite frankly, it's fascinating to see the detail and what's not reported on, and the different types of things that state agencies mess up or flub on. So, Calvin Coburn, again, give us the website. People can get more information about you.
coburnforhouse.com.
All right, fantastic. Kelvin, thank you so much. I guess we're going to be talking again in the near future, so I appreciate you taking the time and reaching out.
Thanks a lot, Grant. And I tell everybody, hey, buckle up. This is going to be fun.
All right. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, and appreciate Kelvin joining us, and we surely will be talking with him again in the near future. All right, now 7:18. Let's take a break and come back and tell you about your DMV experience. It's now 7:19 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tanya DeSanto. At Prairie Dental Group, we let our patients do the talking.
Not just my friends who noticed it right away, but when I see my docs, and they'll say, let me look in your mouth, and go, oh, beautiful teeth, beautiful smile.
We sat down and talked about what we were going to do and how we were going to do it, and you guys were willing to work with us. You have your ducks in a row.
So I had to have a root canal, and doing that, there was no discomfort. It was basically just come in and take a nap while you did the work.
I just love them. They're all great. They treat me good. Couldn't have a better place to go.
I would highly recommend Prairie Dental, absolutely for sure.
Come see why so many of your friends and neighbors choose the all-women staff at Prairie Dental Group. Make your appointment today by calling 217-546-0412. Prairie Dental Group is located at the corner of Greenbrier and West White Oaks Drive right here in Springfield. And you can also find us on our website at prairiedentalgroup.com.
And thank you for voting us the best dental office in Springfield 8 years in a row.
So you're planning a trip this weekend, but you walk out to the car and you're like, I can't get in this jalopy. I can't entrust this thing to take my family where I want to go. Well, there's something you can do about it. Head over to Green Hyundai. Mike Quimby and his crew standing by to get you and your family into a new ride for the Labor Day weekend, Mike.
That's right, Greg. We have it going on out here on Dirksen Parkway. So,
you gave me a little too much.
Okay, that's a tip.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, baby, I'm trying to do it all.
Getting ready for the morning.
Yeah, we are. It's really a great time. Labor Day weekend in Memorial Day weekend, according to the National Auto Dealers Association, is the best time to buy a car. And we are ready for you out here on Dirksen. So come on out and see us and get your fall and winter started. We've got over 100 vehicles in stock, okay? And we just got another 98 in an allocation from Hyundai Wednesday. So we'll be getting those soon. We're going to have we have virtually whatever you want. First time ever I've been able to drive a Hyundai Palisade. And man, is this a beautiful vehicle. I tell you, I'm sitting in it right now. It's a phenomenal vehicle. We have 16 Palisades in stock. It was number one at Motor Trend Magazine's comparison for all large SUVs and third rows. So opportunity right now, tonight until 7, Saturday till 6. We will be closed on Labor Day in observance to all the employees' hard work, and we'll open up again on Tuesday. But you got plenty of chances, and you got a motivated salespeople going to make it happen for you. So come on out and see us. Good old Green Hyundai, 1200 South Dirksen Parkway.
Mike Quimby, Green Hyundai. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it, Greg. Thank you.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the Endless Summer Sale, September 1st through the 11th, and get 30% off paints and stains with prices starting at $31.14. That means 30% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 30% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club.
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, get the whole store.
Peggy at Springfield Supportive Living loves to stay busy.
I love the garden area. It's so peaceful, and they got the walkway, and I walk a lot. I walk 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day, at least.
And then there are Peggy's numerous hobbies.
I like to craft and sew and crochet and keep myself pretty busy, and they have a lot of activities, and I just enjoy being here.
At SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough? If you want a bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Dental exam. I schedule an appointment with my dentist when I need a haircut. I schedule an appointment with my barber. If I faced unpredictable wait times, each visit for that service, it would be exasperating. Offering appointments at high-volume DMVs makes sense, and it modernizes our facilities so that customers have more control over their visit. As of tomorrow, we are here when you need us.
And that's Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias yesterday announcing a new initiative that starts today where you have to have an appointment for going to the DMV. And what exactly is the DMV? Well, previous Secretary of State's administration under Jesse White always pushed back when people call it a DMV because people typically in other states, they have the Department of Motor Vehicles. Well, DMV in Illinois does not stand for Department of Motor Vehicles. DMV stands for Drivers and Motor Vehicle Services, so DMV. But now you've got to ensure that you're not waiting in line forever, because everybody has that trope in their head, right? You go and wait into the DMV, and it's like purgatory and reminiscent of Beetlejuice when he goes to talk with his counselor and he pulls the ticket, and it's just going and going and going, and he's like number 5,753 out of, whatever, and then they call up number 5. And he's like, But what exactly is happening here? With more detail, let's go ahead and hear what the Secretary of State has to say, and then also hear some of the questions and the answers that he provided. So take it away, Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias from yesterday, a news conference up in Chicago.
Tomorrow we begin our effort to cut the time tax that Illinoisans have been paying for far too long. In the past, when a customer had to visit a DMV, it was impossible to know how long they would be stuck waiting in line. They would need to consider if they should take time off work, get a babysitter, or even how much coffee would be required to stay awake during their wait. That's a tax on our most valuable commodity, time. And Illinoisans shouldn't be forced to waste valuable time waiting for a required service. If you are required to visit a DMV starting tomorrow, September 1st, all Chicago and suburban DMVs will now require an appointment. Again, if you must visit a DMV for drivers and ID-related services, walk-ins will no longer be permitted. You have to make an appointment. We want people to know how simple it is to schedule an appointment for DMV services that fit their schedules. It's critical for all Illinoisans to know that this program is designed to better serve you. Making an appointment at the DMV is easy. You don't have to be technologically savvy to navigate our website, and if you'd prefer calling to make an appointment, that option is available. Just call 844-817-4649, and a customer service agent, a live customer service agent, will assist you from 7 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday.
So the Secretary of State also announced that these facilities are going to be open longer. So a lot of times you might go to the DMV and you find that, they're closed on Mondays. Rats. Well, they're going to be open on Mondays now. They're also going to be sending out notices of your driver's license expiring no longer just 90 days out. They're going to send it at 90 days out, then they're going to send it at 60 days out, and then they're going to send it at 30 days out. So you're going to get 3 opportunities there to be reminded. But some other questions about walk-ins. That was driving a lot of the Q&A during yesterday's news conference with the Secretary.
So, look, it's a customer service business. We're going to do everything we can to accommodate people. If someone shows up, we have tablets there. We will try and get them an appointment at that time. If there's one available, we'll try and get them one that day. We will accommodate people as much as we possibly can. But we've been screaming from the rooftops on about September 1. And the challenge we've had in the past is we try to straddle and do both, take walk-ins and appointments, and it was the worst of both worlds. We had people who were waiting, people who made appointments who ended up waiting for their appointment time. It put way too much strain on our folks, so it's simply undoable. So starting tomorrow,
today,
we will be requiring folks to make an appointment.
But sometimes it's an emergency, and that emergency can pop off at really any time. Is that allowed to have a walk-in? If you say all of a sudden an emergency trip pops up and you got to get a new driver's license or something like that?
Yes, great question. Thank you, Craig. So there are folks who have an emergency situation who are leaving town who need to get a license done that way. Our downtown Chicago Loop facility is the only one that will remain walk-in only. So if you need to, or if you just really don't want to do an appointment, or you really want to see someone's face, or if you really enjoy waiting in line, we encourage you to visit our Chicago Loop location. Yes, I forgot to mention that.
So the Chicago Loop location is going to be open, but it's not good for people down in Cairo necessarily. What about veterans? That was a policy before. Veterans were allowed to have walk-ins.
Again, if people want to walk in, they can come to the Loop. The challenge is when you open up to one group, it becomes it's the problem I described earlier, where some people are walk-in, some are appointment only. So starting tomorrow, it will be appointment only if you have to come in. I want to reiterate, most people do not have to come in. You should be able to go, 12 to 15 years without having to step foot in the facility, assuming that you're a safe driver.
So the secretary answering one last question here. He took a series of questions, but he's talked about digital driver's licenses. And where are we at in that process? Well, this is all part of it.
So, this goes back to modernization. Everything that we will be doing is focused on modernization and bringing new technology in. This is the most important piece of this, getting Skip the Line moving. We will eventually get to digital driver's license, digital IDs, but there's a lot of infrastructure that we need to get done first. So focusing on this, shoring up our cybersecurity is going to be important, the creation of an app. And so it's difficult for me to give you a timeline of when it's going to happen. I will tell you unequivocally, it will happen. And the goal is to get it done before the end of this term.
But the idea of digital driver's licenses, something that might cause civil libertarians a little bit of unease. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of unease. So, starting today, if you need to get to the DMV, you got to make an appointment. All right, so make that happen. Just search Illinois Secretary of State's office, and you'll be able to make that happen. All right, Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on WMAY. Find me anywhere, Bishop on Air. X, Facebook, YouTube, just search Bishop on Air. All right, coming back, we'll talk with Jeffrey Schwab from the Liberty Justice Center and a new lawsuit they filed against the state. 7:33, though, check a headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, Nichols Park in Jacksonville will be the site of the 2023 Chautauqua, a free, family-oriented event running tonight and tomorrow. Entertainment under the big tent will include music, storytelling for both children and adults, juggling and magic, and presentations about life in Morgan County during the 19th century. Plenty of food vendors will be on hand for the celebration. It starts Friday evening at 6 o'clock and continues all day on Saturday. Car enthusiasts will not want to miss the first annual Chatham Plaza Cruise-In on Saturday beginning at 10 a.m. The Range Bourbon and Brew is sponsoring the event, which will feature live music all day, giveaways, shaved ice, hot and ready meals from Chatham Cafe Catering, and a large outdoor beer garden to enjoy the festivities. Anyone with a car they'd like to show is welcome to park in the display area with no need to pre-register. More information at WMAY.com. Springfield Police Chief Ken Scarlett honored Officer Jake Atwood with the Life Saving Award yesterday. Officer Atwood witnessed an accident on July 24th where a bicyclist was injured after being struck by a truck at the intersection of Veterans and Lindbergh. The off-duty officer rendered first aid to a life-threatening head injury. Chief Scarlett noted that Atwood's quick actions played a major role in saving the life of the injured bicyclist. The Blue Grouch will be the scene tonight when the Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band will play live. The band has been nominated 3 times for BMA Awards and have just released a chart-topping album called Dance Songs for Hard Times. The music starts at 6 o'clock. There's a $15 cover charge, and the Blue Grouch can be found at 510 West Maple Avenue South in Springfield. Springfield's Oyster and Beer Festival kicks off on Saturday at noon. The festival will be held at the Inn at 835. located at 835 South 2nd Street in Springfield, and will feature over 5,000 gourmet oysters and 50 different types of craft beers to wash them down. Visitors can enjoy live music and local food trucks, and the proceeds go to local charities. The Labor Department is expected to report today that the United States economy added 170,000 jobs last month. According to the chief commercial officer at Manpower Group, the Federal Reserve's efforts to gradually tame inflation without going into recession are working. Inflation has dropped steadily since peaking in June of last year during a worldwide inflation spike and is now half the worldwide average. Gross domestic product continues to grow, rising at a 2.1% annual rate last quarter. Economists expect the unemployment rate to remain at 3.5% for August, barely above a 50-year low. The Labor Department reported Thursday that the number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits continues to fall. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by Just Beds. A great night's sleep starts with a visit to the yawn exterminators at Just Beds. Online at justbedsinc.com.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
AJ's Corner would like to thank the community for years of support and would like to invite you to come in and check out their newly remodeled facility. AJ's Corner is a proud supporter of Glenwood Titans football and in fact will be hosting a post-game party on their recently updated patio after every Titans home game. AJ's Corner has been a part of Chatham for years and they're looking forward to another exciting season of Glenwood football. Go Titans!
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/joy.
Keep your radio on 92.7 WMAY all weekend for the latest breaking news and constant updates from ABC News. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Nothing but blue skies and sunshine in the forecast. 83 degrees today with a low of 56 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 64. Sunday, sunny with a high near 90. Labor Day, sunny with a high near 91. And Tuesday, sunny with a high near 89 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
September happens to be Healthy Aging Month.
Yeah.
And while you and I may age and be healthy, okay, not always true of our vehicles. As they get older, not as healthy.
That's right.
Generally.
That's right.
So again, that's where we come in. At Green Toyota, Volkswagen, Audi, if you're looking to upgrade, well, we're here to help. Here to tell you more is Green Toyota's Casey Lane.
And as you age, I think it's healthy to have a lot of fun. And what better than in a 2022 Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, the only downside is it's an automatic. I mean, you're kind of like a standard with these muscle cars. But I don't know. From what I understand, there are people who do prefer automatic. So come on down, take a test drive today. This is a great muscle car.
Yeah, that rumor is going around. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, the muscle cars are great, and they're also great when they're, standard like that.
Oh, yeah.
We're on West Wabash. If you want to take a test drive, you'll never forget. See us today at Green Toyota, Volkswagen, Audi. Remember,
we're all in this together.
Inflation is nothing more than a legal form of theft.
Because with every new round of money printing, the value of your 401k or IRA is decreased through the dilution of the money supply. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and while you still can, I highly recommend you consider physical gold for your retirement account. Why? Because gold provides real wealth preservation that can withstand anything. Even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay no penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word safeguard to 989898. And my friends from Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text Safeguard to 989898 to request your free info kit on gold IRAs right now.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
We've been tracking a lot of lawsuits on this program, everything from challenges against Illinois' gun and magazine ban to the challenge against Illinois' law that would allow for the Attorney General to go after certain types of pregnancy centers if they're not offering up abortion services, to even lawsuits that are now starting to stack up against a measure that Governor J.B. Pritzker signed, House Bill 3062, which limits which venue you as a citizen can file a lawsuit in state court against a state law. And another lawsuit has been filed, this time from the Liberty Justice Center. And joining us right now is one of their lead attorneys, Jeffrey Schwab. Jeffrey, thanks for taking time with us this morning here with WMAY. Where'd you guys file this, and what's your arguments you're going to be taking to the courts here?
Morning, Greg. Thanks for having us. Yes, we filed this case in St. Clair County. And our argument is there's two. Basically, first of all, that the government doesn't have the right or the ability to limit where citizens can bring lawsuits against it based on the content of the lawsuit. They can't cherry pick which courts hear their cases. And secondly, that this violates the equal protection rights of the citizens of Illinois' 100 counties that are not outside of citizens outside of Cook and Sangamon County.
So, Jeffrey, one of the arguments that was made when this was brought up on the Senate and House floor, and I'm sure as part of all of this, the transcripts of those debates are going to be aired out in court. But one of the arguments was, hey, listen, in the House, you had State Representative Jay Hoffman say you had all these challenges against COVID mandates popping off all over the place in different counties across the state. You had all of these challenges against the gun law popping off all across the state. And the Attorney General's time is limited and there's a few resources, and they have to remain in these two counties. Why is that not a substantive rebuttal?
Well, for two reasons. One is that the legislature just doesn't have that power. So it doesn't matter what reason they give. If they don't have the power, they can't do it. And secondly, just because of the convenience of the government, you can't violate people's constitutional rights. There's two reasons that this violates the equal protection rights of citizens of Illinois' 100 counties. And the first is obviously that they can't bring their lawsuits in their local courts. And second, and almost as important, if not more importantly, they're disenfranchised from voting for judges who will decide constitutional cases because they vote for judges that are in their counties and their local circuit courts and also their local appellate courts. And citizens now of Sangamon County and Cook County are the only voters of judges who can decide constitutional cases. If you thought of this from a legislative perspective, it would be blatantly obvious that it would be unconstitutional. Imagine if the legislature decided, well, when it comes to tax matters, we're just going to allow the elected officials from Cook and Sangamon counties to make those decisions. That would be clearly unconstitutional. But that's exactly what the legislature has done here.
Jeffrey, what's next here? Of course, we watch these cases in different avenues. This is in state courts. Do you anticipate that the Attorney General is going to attempt to transfer this to either Cook or Sangamon County?
Well, I imagine that they might. I can't say what their defense strategy is, but I'm sure that it'll involve something that says that this is the not the right court to bring this in. But even so, that's the point of the lawsuit, is that we can bring this in our local circuit court.
So obviously we'll watch this closely. You filed this week. When do we find out when there's going to be a hearing and the next steps here?
Well, we filed it earlier this week on Tuesday. We should receive a stamped copy from the local clerk soon. We'll get it to the Attorney General, and then they'll have some time, about a month or so, to respond, and we'll see how they respond.
Well, we'll see also if they try to file a motion for an extension to their response, as they seem to have done in similar cases elsewhere. Jeffrey Schraub, Liberty Justice Center, if people want more information on this and to look at your filings, do you have that available online?
Yeah, it's on our website, libertyjusticecenter.org.
All right, it's that simple. libertyjusticecenter.org. Jeffrey Schwab, thanks so much for taking time with us here with Springfield's Morning News on WMAY, and I'm sure we'll talk about this again in the near future.
Thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And we'll open up the phone lines for you next at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number now, 747 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health, and it doesn't cost a thing. Spending time outside. That's right, the natural light, the wind against your skin, the sounds and fragrances of the season all work in concert to help you feel better. Now, you can't treat clinical depression and addiction with just one step. Those are more serious problems, especially with drugs and alcohol. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychologists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Your insurance covers treatment, and the Family Medical Leave protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE, 877-505-HOPE, and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
Stop waiting to get better quality sleep. Labor Day at Hendricks Home Furnishings is your chance to save big on top mattress brands. Feel the trusted support of Sealy, experience the legendary comfort of Tempur-Pedic, and discover the one-of-a-kind craftsmanship of Stearns & Foster, all with savings up to $800 off select adjustable sets, now until September 18th only. Find better sleep today at Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners, Route 4 in Verdon, and on the web at hendricks.tv.
At Midwest Garage Door Company, we offer products that are designed for how you live and work. Looking for residential, commercial, or agricultural doors? Midwest Garage Door has you covered. We offer a wide array of garage doors and LiftMaster openers. With professional installation from our trained technicians, LiftMaster openers are available with top-of-the-line accessories, like built-in Wi-Fi, allowing you to open and close your door from your smartphone or computer wherever you are. Visit MidwestGarageDoor.com to learn more.
It's obvious. We're being let down by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media are distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the real concerns of American families. Countries we're at odds with are hoarding food, financial systems are strained, and supply chains remain too fragile. We can tell something is coming, so we're preparing. Folks are getting into self-reliance and investing in emergency food storage. And My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, makes it easy for you to have peace of mind knowing you're prepared. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure some emergency food kits. There's a dozen to choose from that contain tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. And while you're there, stock up on water filtration, heirloom seeds, and emergency gear, too, at MyPatriotSupply.com. It's time to prepare today. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Let's get your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Going to open this segment up and the next segment for those of you who want to chime in on everything we've talked about either today or throughout the week. Again, 217-629-7970. Or you can also email me, bishoponair@gmail.com, or you can message me via Twitter. All available for you to sound off. Again, just search Bishop on Air. All right. Let's get your phone calls. What have we talked about so far? Well, we've tracked what's happened with litigation against Illinois' gun laws, and one case having a judge change, I think, like 4 times now over the span of just a few days. The most recent judge assigned to the Myers v. Kelly case, it's a challenge of the state's firearm owner identification card law, and a new judge assigned to that case is now apparently an NRA member in the federal court. This NRA member judge is going to hear this case about the FOID card and whether or not it's unconstitutional. So that'll be interesting to see how the state responds to this new judge. As President Non-Fudd said on Twitter, if the state wants to try to get this judge to recuse itself, it kind of looks hypocritical, especially when you look at the Illinois Supreme Court and the 2 justices that did not recuse themselves out of an appearance of conflict. And remember, the appearance of conflict is there even if it's just an appearance. All right, that's one of the things about conflicts of interest. We've also talked about the wild story of the shooting incident, if that's what you want to call it, at White Sox Stadium last weekend, and how they still don't know where the gunshot came from. At first it was, a couple of people were shot, one in the leg, one with a graze wound. Did it come from inside the stadium? I mean, that would be my first thought, right? But how is a gun going to get into the stadium? Even the stadium owners are pushing back on that idea. So they think that somebody may have shot from outside the stadium up in the air, and it came down, which, I mean, this is one reason why you don't shoot your gun up into the air. It's stupid. Not just a waste of ammunition, but everything that goes up comes down. And apparently, if that is the case in this particular story, then, well, what are you going to do? Did it come from outside the stadium? Nobody knows. We also talked about UFOs and UAPs and the military setting up a new website to allow you to check out some declassified video, official declassified video from the U.S. military of unidentified anomalous phenomenon. We talked with Kelvin Coburn. He's running for the State House to challenge Mike Coffey in a Republican primary. Skip the line. You have the Secretary of State saying that, hey, you got to make an appointment now if you want to go to the DMV to take care of business. So these are just some of the things that you can sound off on here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Phones are working, right? I mean, where are you guys at? It's Friday. I know everybody's there's probably a lot of people actually off today because it's Labor Day on Monday, which, by the way, scheduling note, we are off on Monday. So no live show. All right, I'm taking the day off. Gonna sleep in. It's gonna be nice. Wake up about 6 o'clock, sip some coffee, read the newspapers, and just relax. Labor Day. So now we've got time for you to sound off. So what do you got here? 217-629-7970. That is the phone number. Got a lot of comments on the Facebook and live stream on YouTube. Some of them, I'll just let them kind of simmer there, and you guys can talk amongst yourselves. Because that's not broadcast worthy necessarily. I don't know how some of those conversations might go, but hey, more power to you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. But you can sound off on really anything. 217-629-7970. With the issue of the Secretary of State's office setting up the appointment only option for, it's not an option, it's a requirement now with the DMV, the Drivers and Motor Vehicles Services. And that's something is going to be, I think, a little bit of an interesting transition. Listen, last time I went to the DMV, I had to wait in the waiting room about 30 minutes, and I knew it was going to take a couple of hours. And I remember telling work, I was like, I'm going to be out for a couple of hours. I got to deal with the DMV. And it's kind of that running joke, right, that you're in purgatory waiting to get your stuff taken care of. But I think that this transition to now requiring you to have an appointment, it's going to be great. And listen, I'm with the Secretary of State's office on that. My stylist, I set up every time I leave, and she sends text message reminders. It's great, and it helps me keep on track. With the mechanic shop, I set up the appointment online, and if I have to change it, I call them up and we change it and whatnot. With a whole host of other things, even restaurants now. When Megan and I are going out to eat somewhere nice, we make sure we have a reservation, and we do that online. And a lot of these restaurants are starting to have their reservation systems online. I get it. It's great. But the inability to just walk in might rub some others the wrong way. And older populations might not like that too much. So maybe you can sound off on that, but there's plenty of other stuff that you can sound off on here with Springfield's Morning News. Good morning. You're on WMAY. What's up?
Hi, Bishop. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine.
I just wanted to bring to your attention regarding Illinois gun ban and all that kind of stuff. Recently, it came to my attention that House Bill 676 passed Illinois Congress, which is a mandatory gun confiscation regarding red flag laws. And I want you to check me on this, if you can at some point. But the original draft included a total gun confiscation of everybody who had registered assault weapons if a mass shooting occurred after January 1st.
Yeah, and I remember this law or this bill. It's not a law. It didn't pass the General Assembly. So they throw a lot of stuff at the wall to see what sticks, and a lot of it doesn't stick. This is one of those that didn't stick. It was an omnibus bill that had a whole bunch in it. I think it even may have had serializing ammunition in it, right? But what they ultimately did is they removed those provisions and they took a different approach, and that's when they passed the measure that allows for lawsuits against firearm industry owners. One last call here. We'll get more of your calls after the break, I promise, but I'll give you about 40 seconds. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
This Secretary of State thing, I agree with you with older customers because, like, my parents are in their mid-70s and they're not computer savvy. They're not going to be able, to get their licenses renewed and whatnot. But say I buy and sell a lot of cars privately, and if I buy a car from a private individual and I have to get a title transferred, I have to make an appointment. I can't just walk in. So that means I can't drive the car. I can't move the car.
That's a great question. Yeah, because it's not just it's not just driver's licenses. It's real IDs and other business. So yeah, you'll have to get with the Secretary of State's
From
office.
the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Dave Packard. The monthly government jobs report is out this morning. The Labor Department says 187,000 jobs were created in the month of August. That's above analysts' estimates of 170,000 hires. The unemployment rate rising to 3.8%. Wall Street hoping the Federal Reserve will hold interest rates steady at its meeting this month. Questions surround Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. He's filed new federal disclosures showing more trips taken on private jets paid for by Republican mega donor Harlan Crow.
In his statement, Thomas explained that new guidance for judges now explicitly requires them to report, quote, transportation that substitutes for commercial transportation, and he pledged to report any such trips from 2022 onward.
ABC's Terry Moran. Thomas's disclosure explains some of the trips were for security reasons or due to bad weather. The start of the long Labor Day holiday weekend is here, and millions of Americans are traveling on the roads and in the air. At the pump, gas prices are relatively high.
I just left the gas station because the prices, I was like $3.99.
And in the sky,
the TSA saying they expect to screen more than 14 million passengers over the holiday period from September 1st through September 6th. Passenger volumes could be nearly 11% higher than this point last year. Today is expected to be the busiest day, with more than 2.7 million people set to be screened by TSA agents.
ABC's Victor Oquendo in Miami. Still lots of questions surround Thursday's deadly abandoned apartment building fire in Johannesburg, South Africa. At least 74 people killed, including 12 children, most of them believed to be homeless squatters. The city owns the building but says drug cartels were in control. Today's a big day for federal student loan borrowers. The pandemic pause on payments ends today, with interest rates starting to accrue again, and the first payments start coming due next month. This is ABC News.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26.
Well, continue on with your phone calls. 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. But also, I'll get you an update on the Invest in Kids program, that school choice scholarship program that's funded by private donors. Well, it could expire at the end of the year, leaving a lot of families in the lurch. So we'll talk about that. Also, Governor J.B. Pritzker asked about Illinois' cannabis prices and how they're higher than really almost every other state that has legal cannabis. Why? Is that going to change? Well, we'll hear the governor's answer to that as well. But again, your phone call's up next at 217-629-7970. Live and local now. It's 8:04. I'm Greg Bishop.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The Labor Department is expected to report today that the United States economy added 170,000 jobs last month. According to the chief commercial officer at Manpower Group, the Federal Reserve's efforts to gradually tame inflation without going into recession are working. Inflation has dropped steadily since peaking in June of last year during a worldwide inflation spike and is now half the worldwide average. Gross domestic product continues to grow, rising at a 2.1% annual rate last quarter. Economists expect the unemployment rate to remain at 3.5% for August, barely above a 50-year low. The Labor Department reported Thursday that the number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits continues to fall. Eastern Illinois beat Indiana State Thursday night 27-0 in the season opener for both football teams. Eastern Illinois quarterback Pierce Holly threw for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. The visiting Panthers broke open a close game by scoring on 2 consecutive pick sixes in the final minute before halftime for an 18-0 lead. It was the first time Eastern has won a season opener since 2017 when they beat Indiana State on their way to their last winning season. Eastern visits Bowling Green next week. Nichols Park in Jacksonville will be the site of the 2023 Chautauqua, a free family-oriented event running tonight and tomorrow. Entertainment under the big tent will include music, storytelling for both children and adults, juggling and magic, and presentations about life in Morgan County during the 19th century. Plenty of food vendors will be on hand for the celebration that starts Friday evening at 6 o'clock and continues all day on Saturday. A full schedule of events can be found at WMAY.com. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Clock Tower Community Bank is everything you want in a community bank. Local people making local decisions for local success. With 6 convenient locations in Springfield and Chatham, our experienced local bankers are here for you in every way, from opening a checking account to getting a loan. And because we're local, we share the commitment to the success and future of our community. Visit Clock Tower Community Bank today. Clock Tower Community Bank, a division of Morton Community Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It can happen easily. A few drinks becomes a few too many. It's time to go and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
When it comes to hiring, you don't need to be doing all the searching, screening, and interviewing yourself. What you need is Indeed, the end-to-end solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credits.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. You know, I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Everywhere you are, everywhere you live, with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or listen at home with your Amazon smart speaker. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Nothing but blue skies and sunshine in the forecast. 83 degrees today with a low of 56 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 64. Sunday, sunny with a high near 90. Labor Day, sunny with a high near 91. And Tuesday, sunny with a high near 89 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
Academy Sports and Outdoors is the sporting goods store that's all about fun. And a new location is coming to Springfield. With great brands at the best prices, you'll always find the gear you need to play the games you love and enjoy your favorite outdoor activities with your favorite people. Academy has it all in store and online. No matter how you have fun out there, your next adventure starts here. Your new Academy Sports and Outdoors store is coming soon to Springfield. Until then, check out academy.com.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
It can happen so easily. A few drinks become a few too many. It's time to go, and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Back at it, taking your phone calls at 217-629-7970. When you're listening live, you get to call in live and sound off on all we've talked about so far this morning and this week. Kind of forget about all the other stuff we've talked about. Just cranking out content left and right, and of course, your ability to sound off on it, all here on WMAY. Everything from even, Governor J.B. Pritzker brushing off the idea of future mandates because of a new variant of COVID-19. We also talked about this situation locally of a woman who had a heart surgery, who had a purebred dog that eventually went to the pound, and then somebody bought it from the pound, and then it went full circle all the way back to getting the dog back to the owner. It's a pretty popular story here locally. Thanks to Scott Reeder for joining us earlier this week. But we focused a lot on gun laws and litigation against them and other state laws that have lawsuits against them. But let's go ahead and get your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Morning, Greg.
Hey.
I'd like to talk about as far as this so-called registration on this assault weapons ban we're dealing with.
January 1st is the deadline, or you'll face criminal penalties if the law is not struck down.
This registration is not a registration. It's an affidavit. An affidavit actually violates your Fifth Amendment rights to not self-incriminate yourself. And also, anything to do with any firearm registration is actually a big no-no, because this is actually a violation under federal law as well, because federal law actually prohibits any state registration to be made in a state. And also, if you want to look up any registration back in history that's actually backfired, look no closer than 1928 of Nazi Germany.
Scott, all right. I don't know what just happened to your phone, but it blew up on me there. Listen, registration leads to confiscation. That's what a lot of people worry. If you want to invoke, I think it's called Godwin's Law in an online debate. If you're having a debate about politics with somebody and you invoke Hitler, people brush it off. It's Godwin's Law. Listen. Registration leads to confiscation. That's the concern. And we'll see if a Fifth Amendment argument is brought up in this case. But obviously, there's a lot of people who have legitimate concerns of having to file an affidavit proclaiming that you have these firearms that are illegal. That itself is what some people would allege is a Fifth Amendment violation. But you've also got to consider, too, if you look at other states that do have these types of registrations, the compliance rate is abysmal. It's like 2, 3, maybe 5% estimated of a compliance rate. So we'll see what happens. Are people not going to comply with this and have just really poor compliance rates? Definitely something we'll be tracking. I appreciate the call. 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yes. I'm calling in about this so-called assault weapons registration that takes effect October 1st.
It opens October 1st, so 1 month from today. The Illinois State Police are expected to open the affidavit process, and the deadline is January 1st of 2024, so just a handful of months away. But something else in the law, too, allows for state police to essentially, by rule, update the list of banned firearms. So every year that list could change on October 1st. But yeah, October 1st is when the registry opens up.
Here's another thing that's what concerns me is, what if we have another mass shooting like we did in Highland Park, and the governor gets on the bandwagon and he wants people to turn them in. They know who's got these weapons, and they can come door to door searching and knocking for them, confiscation. That's what happened in a lot of countries.
Yeah, and people say, well, when was the last time they had gun bans and confiscations? And just look back to Australia. Like a decade plus ago or so? They had a mass shooting, and their rights to keep and bear arms were severely limited. So even in most recent history, you have these types of things playing out. But listen, I mean, you talk about the Highland Park mass shooting, which was absolutely horrific. There are regular mass shootings happening in Chicago practically every day.
Exactly. It's never going to go away because it's not the availability of guns, it's the people. It's anytime you're in a democratically controlled city, you're going to have problems like that. And in Chicago, that's nothing new. It was like that decades ago. A lot of robberies, gangs.
And these individuals don't care about the law. I see cartoons all the time. Appreciate the call. See cartoons all the time of somebody walking up to a bank and it has a gun-free zone sticker on it, and the robber's like, "Oh, I can't go in there with my gun." Okay. Now criminals really don't follow the law. That's why they're criminals. So that's why you still see on the streets of Chicago videos of young people sharing them holding handguns with extended magazines, them carrying around, semi-automatic rifles, and conducting, armed robberies with these firearms. So even though the ban's been in place since January 10th, these firearms are still on the streets in the hands of criminals in Chicago. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Greg, are you telling me that criminals don't follow the law?
I think that's what I said, yeah.
But going back to the gun registry, future confiscation tries they're going to try to do. You brought up Australia. I'll bring up Canada, which is even more recent. Yes, they don't have the Second Amendment enshrined in their form of the Constitution, but Trudeau and all them went through saying, "Oh, this is Canada. We're a country that loves guns, and nobody will ever come for that." And then they had to get registered assault weapons. Then they couldn't buy, sell, trade anything with quote-unquote assault weapons. And then now they're doing a semi-auto handgun ban. So it's just, the old classic slippery slope, and they're coming for all of them.
And that's, again, a concern people have. Appreciate the call. Got full phone lines. We'll get to them all. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yes, there is a certain group of people they want disarmed and a certain group of people they want armed. This is all working out for them, and we got to ask ourselves, why do they get to have their guns and we don't get to have ours?
And who are you talking about in particular that's allowed to? The police or security officers or prison wardens, or are you talking about the criminals on the streets?
The criminals on the streets are actually child soldiers.
To what
and they want them armed.
I mean, is it just destabilize society, or what do you think is the motive there?
Yeah, chaos, destabilize society, make Chicago a no-go zone, create a fortress for the powers to be. It's destruction of our country, and a lot of people are going to die, and they are dying.
Yeah. They
want a certain group of people disarmed and a certain group of people armed, or they wouldn't be armed.
It's pretty incredible when you delve into the history of all of this. Appreciate the call. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Greg, it's interesting when I hear the leaders of our state say things like, you can't pick and choose which laws you're going to enforce, because we've heard different county sheriffs and other people say, you can go ahead and pass this ban, but we're not going to enforce it. We don't think it's right. And yet those same leaders will say, well, you know what? We want to have a sanctuary city, which of course is ignoring a law.
Yep.
We want to sell pot in our state. That's against the law. It's like they're just picking and choosing. We really don't have state leadership that follows the Constitution. It's turning into a dictatorship.
Well, a lot of people point to the fact that we've got Democrats in the House and Senate controlling the chambers and the control of all constitutional officers. People point to that and say it's a uniparty. So that's obviously one concern that you have when it comes to only one party having this type of dominance. One last call here before the break. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Morning, Greg. Hey. So there's a reason why, everyone wants to blame Chicago and everything like that. Even Hollywood knows. Because in the not the latest Batman movie, but the 3 Batman movies with Christian Bale, Chicago was Gotham City. Gotham City in historical comic book, times has always been crime-ridden. And that's exactly what they're going for. So the crime is never going to stop in Chicago.
Well, Hollywood definitely has some kind of, let's say, proclivity to highlighting crime and maybe glorifying crime. I was scrolling on Twitter and saw an advertisement for a new Stars cable TV show. I can't remember what the show was called, but it was about Chicago in particular and crime in Chicago and some gangbangers shooting up people and, doing nefarious things. And it seemed like a really violent show out of Chicago, like the storyline's based in Chicago. So, yeah, it's not necessarily something you want your city to be known as.
What I also love and hate is all these guys, all these criminals who are brandishing, the extended mags. Dude, they got all the money because I don't know about you, but if you've seen the prices of ammo, all these extended mags, they got more money in one magazine than I do, in my bank account. So, just
brother, you need to do better at saving. That's.
Have a good weekend, buddy.
You too. Happy Labor Day. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Appreciate everybody chiming in. Seems that the gun and magazine ban's still very fresh on a lot of people's minds. All right, coming back, we'll share with you what Governor J.B. Pritzker had to say about Illinois' cannabis sales. And, well, why are prices so high in Illinois than other states that have legalized it? So stay tuned. We'll get to that next here at 8:22 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager for Midwest Family Springfield. Are you the one person I'm looking for to help further build our media sales team at Midwest Family Springfield? We are the premier multimedia marketing company that no other company compares to in the Springfield area. It's really simple. I need one sales leader, a brand ambassador whose talent and team focus will thrive working with Midwest Family. Are you passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive? Are you an overachiever, a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have the skill set for today's digital marketing? And do you believe in growing lasting partnerships? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, you'll be challenged, you'll be trained, and you'll have access to world-class tools like HubSpot CRM. Are you the one I'm looking for? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
This summer, Coors Light wants you to retire, even if it's only temporary. Take a break from your 9 to 5 for 9 holes of golf.
4.
Trade those spreadsheets for a bingo card.
B7. Oh, bingo!
Or swap your office chair for a water aerobics floaty.
Cool noodles up, everyone!
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement. Coors Light, made to chill. Copyright 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank. Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Lavina Roach. I was married for almost 65 years, and I have 4 kids, 5 grandkids, and 5 great-grandkids. I've been here for 5 months. It's so clean. Everybody's wonderful. It makes you feel more like home. And I don't think there's any place in town that's as nice as this one.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Hendricks Home Furnishings is having their Smith Brothers of Bern factory authorized sale. For a limited time only, this premium American-made upholstery line is 15% off on all in-stock and special order sofas, sectionals, and chairs. Smith Brothers is meticulously crafted for comfort, longevity, and style. Do not miss this opportunity. Sale ends September 11th. Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners on Route 4 in Virton and at hendricks.tv.
Marcom Security. You know, we're the Have a Secure Day security systems company, right here out on South Cokie Mill Road. Family owned and managed for nearly 50 years. We are local experts in residential, small business, and commercial security systems. Family owned, family values, treating you just like family. Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll actually pick up the phone. You can check us out at barcomsecurity.com, and as always, have a secure day.
Every 2 seconds, someone needs blood. Do your part today and you could save someone's life with Impact Life. And during Impact Life's Good Giving promotion this summer, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible to receive a $25 gift card. Or continue the giving and donate your gift to support local teachers. Please, give what's in your heart because we are changing the world together. Learn more at bloodcenter.org.
Your next vacation to Punta Gorda, Fort Myers, Florida is just a quick flight away with nonstop flights from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. Enjoy lounging on the beach, golfing the stunning courses, or catching up with family in the Sunshine State. Find yourself a warm getaway with low fares from Allegiant and your friends at Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, where parking is always free. Book your trip today at Allegiant.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Take Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
The federal government may be poised to reclassify cannabis, marijuana, the chiba, the green sticky icky, whatever other kinds of nicknames you got for it. The ganja. I don't know. Maybe you could sound off and let me know what nicknames you've got for cannabis. But the headline here is the Health and Human Services Secretary is asking the DEA to modify its policy on cannabis and to reschedule it. HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra said Wednesday on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, that the agency has responded to President Joe Biden's request to provide a scheduling recommendation for marijuana to the DEA. We've worked to ensure that a scientific evaluation be completed and shared expeditiously. So you've got Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader there in the majority, said in a statement to the HHS and recommended that marijuana be moved from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 controlled substances. And rescheduling the drug would reduce the potential of eliminating criminal penalties for possession, because right now, marijuana is currently classified as Schedule 1 alongside heroin and LSD. Think about that. So what's interesting here is Illinois has had legal cannabis for medicinal purposes for, like a decade almost. How long has that been? We just, in the past 3 years, have had cannabis legal for recreational use. It was January of 2020. I remember New Year's Day as a reporter watching all of the lines of people head to the first cannabis dispensary in Springfield, and we talked to the first guy who came out with his cannabis, and I forget what he had, but he had a big smile on his face. But Governor J.B. Pritzker was asked yesterday by my reporter Andrew Hensel up in Matteson, where he talked about the cost of cannabis, because studies have shown Illinois, even though we have legal cannabis now, we tax the snot out of it. And it's a tax that ranges from like 25% up to 45%, depending on if the local government tax on a 3% tax on it. So it's a high tax thing if you want to use it recreationally. I don't think there's a tax if it's for medicinal purposes. But that drives the cost up. Where we have other states that have legalized it, the cost is much lower than in Illinois. Plus, Illinois doesn't have as much competition. I think one study showed that we only have about 400 brands of cannabis in Illinois, where other states have 800 different brands of cannabis. So we'll hear what the governor had to say about that question of are Illinois cannabis prices ever going to come down? We'll hear that in a moment, but of course I want to get your phone calls as they come in, anytime they come in, at 217-629-7970. Good morning.
Yes, hello, Greg.
What's up, man?
Sean Gotti here.
Good to hear from you.
Hey, man, yes, for sure. How about that Maui Wowie, man, or some Mary Jane? Yeah.
But is that a brand? Is that like a strand, or is that just a generic?
I know Cheech and Chong called it Maui Wowie. That's about all I know, man. Or what was it? What was it? Doberman? Yeah, some Doberman.
Oh yeah, that's right. What kind is this? It's Doberman, man. What?
Doberman, man.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I followed my dog around the yard for a week, man.
Ah, ridiculous. What a stupid movie that was. Appreciate the call, Sean. Good to hear from you. All right, let's hear what Governor J.B. Pritzker had to say about Illinois cannabis prices, and are they ever going to come down? Are we ever going to see the price reduced? Here's the governor reacting to that question yesterday up in the Madison area.
We still have a growing industry, as you know, and it's one that I initiated in 2019 that's brought in almost $450 million to state and local governments. So we want to encourage all industries to grow, of course. I think that as we see other states, if they do make changes, by the way, there's only one state around us that has legalized cannabis, and that's Missouri. But we are getting almost a third, or roughly 30% of the revenue that we get from the cannabis industry comes from people coming to Illinois and spending money at dispensaries. So we want the industry to grow. We're always going to look to see how we can adjust to make sure that it is growing. But I have to say, it's been successful so far. And I want to point this out, we have seen equity in this industry like no other state. We intentionally created the program to do that. Hasn't fully flourished the way that we would have liked it to by now, but so much better than every other state. You cannot point to another state that has the number of people who have been come from disproportionately impacted areas, people who are black and brown, who are owners of these dispensaries. I mean, you can't find another state that's done a better job on that, and the number of people working in the industry. There's more to do, though. Like in everything, I think we can make progress, and we continue to work on that.
Thanks, everybody. That's all the time we have.
So Governor J.B. Pritzker saying that, hey, we have an equitable system, but it's not really free market at what you would consider a free market system. Again, looking at the brands and the costs, it's quite disparate from other areas of the country that have legalized cannabis for recreational purposes. So fascinating as Health and Human Services looks to reschedule cannabis. Who knows if the DEA will actually make that happen? We'll update you on that as it happens, if it happens. All right, coming back, let's talk about the Invest in Kids School Choice Scholarship Program. And Governor J.B. Pritzker says it's out of his hands. It's in the legislature's hands. Are they going to tackle that when they come back for fall veto session? Well, we'll hear the latest here on WMAY. Somebody else Wacky Tobacco, Bud, Mary Jane. Somebody just texted me that. Couldn't say the other option he offered up. It's not ripe for radio. 8:35 now. Let's check the headlines.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, Eastern Illinois beat Indiana State Thursday night 27-0 in the season opener for both football teams. Eastern Illinois quarterback Pierce Holly threw for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. The visiting Panthers broke open a close game by scoring on 2 consecutive pick sixes in the final minute before halftime for an 18-0 lead. It was the first time Eastern has won a season opener since 2017 when they beat Indiana State on their way to their last winning season. Eastern visits Bowling Green next week. The Blue Grouch will be the scene tonight when the Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band will play live. The band has been nominated 3 times for WMAY awards and have just released a chart-topping album called Dance Songs for Hard Times. The music starts at 6 o'clock. There's a $15 cover charge, and the Blue Grouch can be found at 510 West Maple Avenue South in Springfield. Sangamon County's second cardboard regatta of the summer will take place this Sunday starting at 1 o'clock at the Sheedy Shores Wine Garden in Loami. The regatta is a charity event benefiting Special Olympics Illinois. Awards will be given in various categories, including Best Design, Fastest Boat, and Fastest Sinker. Registration is $50, and anyone wanting to participate has until 5 o'clock today to register. The Labor Department is expected to report today that the United States economy added 170,000 jobs last month. According to the chief commercial officer at Manpower Group, the Federal Reserve's efforts to gradually tame inflation without going into recession are working. Inflation has dropped steadily since peaking in June of last year during a worldwide inflation spike and is now half the worldwide average. Gross domestic product continues to grow, rising at a 2.1% annual rate last quarter. Economists expect the unemployment rate to remain at 3.5% for August, barely above a 50-year low. The Labor Department reported Thursday that the number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits continues to fall. Springfield Police Chief Ken Scarlett honored Officer Jake Atwood with the Life Saving Award yesterday. Officer Atwood witnessed an accident on July 24th where a bicyclist was injured after being struck by a truck at the intersection of Veterans and Lindbergh. The off-duty officer rendered first aid to a life-threatening head injury. Chief Scarlett noted that Atwood's quick actions played a major role in saving the life of the injured bicyclist. Springfield's Oyster and Beer Festival kicks off on Saturday at noon. The festival will be held at the Inn at 835, located at 835 South 2nd Street in Springfield, and will feature over 5,000 gourmet oysters and 50 different types of craft beers to wash them down. Visitors can enjoy live music and local food trucks, and the proceeds go to local charities. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by Just Beds. A great night's sleep starts with a visit to the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds. Online at justbedsinc.com.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the Endless Summer Sale, September 1st through the 11th, and get 30% off paints and stains with prices starting at $31.14. That means 30% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 30% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Conn's Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Conn's will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Conn's will have people complimenting you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Conn's a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466 or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
Do you like gadgets? Techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone, like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With the virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
Listen and watch interviews with the biggest newsmakers. Subscribe to 92.7 WMAY on YouTube.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Nothing but blue skies and sunshine in the forecast. 83 degrees today with a low of 56 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny with a high near 87, low around 64. Sunday, sunny with a high near 90. Labor Day, sunny with a high near 91. And Tuesday, sunny with a high near 89 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
Glenwood Titans football lives here.
Glenwood gets a win in Week 1 over Danville. Week number 2 will see the Titans hitting the road, taking on the Lanphier Lions in their new stadium over on the north side. Mike Wenmacher will have the Titans pregame show starting tonight at 6:30. Kickoff will follow at 7 p.m.
Your home for Glenwood Titans football is 92.7 WMAY.
Presented by Illinois Paving. Driveway problems? Not a problem. Call Cousin Bill. I'llPaving.com.
Traveling, volunteering, spending time with family. What's your retirement look like? With income planning from Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll look at your full financial picture and help you create a flexible strategy that considers things like market conditions and healthcare expenses, so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Visit fidelity.com/income planning. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
If you want a bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Amazon's Ring has partnerships with almost 3,000 law enforcement agencies across the United States. This means if a crime occurs near a home equipped with a Ring camera, police can ask for the footage. But get this, you don't necessarily have the final say. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by NetSuite. Want consistently excellent performance? Download NetSuite's KPI checklist free at netsuite.com/Kim. If the police ask for your video, you do not have to give it to them. But if your videos are hanging out in the cloud, authorities have ways to snag them without your okay. They can either hit you with a subpoena or a search warrant or invoke a federal law that makes it possible for them to grab the footage from manufacturers in emergencies. There is a workaround. If you keep that footage local on your own camera, they have to come to your door to ask for it or bring a warrant. So if you're not keen on sharing, skip the cloud storage. And get tech smarts with my free newsletter. Now, if you're a pro or a coder, this is not the newsletter for you. You can get it now at getkim.com. If your business is scrambling to close the books on time each month, then you should know these three numbers: 36,000, 25, and 1. To start, 36,000 businesses have already upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. And this year, NetSuite is celebrating their 25th anniversary. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close books in days, and drive down costs. And finally, that #1, because your business is one of a kind. NetSuite offers customized solutions for all your KPIs in one efficient system. It's one source of truth to manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist, designed to give you consistently excellent performance, absolutely free at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim to get your own KPI checklist.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Wacky Tobacco, Bud, Mary Jane, Reefer, Chronic Herb, Jolly Green, Ganja, Blanket, Skunkweed, Flower Tops. A listener sharing all of his encyclopedic knowledge of cannabis names. All right. That's a lot. That's a lot. All right, let's get back into some business here. There are some families that are getting their kids into school, families preparing kids for school, K through 12 school starting back up all across the states for another full school year. But there are families that are taking advantage of Illinois' Invest in Kids school scholarship program for school choice that's funded by private donors, getting a 75% income tax increase from the state of Illinois, or rather a 75% income tax credit. I should say, not increase, a 75% income tax credit for their donations into the Invest in Kids school scholarship program. But that program's getting ready to expire at the end of this year, meaning the families who are taking advantage of that right now, their kids are in their first half of the year. That'll be funded through the end of the year. But then if it expires, they're going to be in the lurch, and a lot of uncertainty all around that. Lawmakers could have addressed this in spring session. They did not address this in spring session. They've got a final opportunity to address it before the end of the year during fall veto session. We'll hear from State Senator Andrew Chesney and his thoughts. But Governor J.B. Pritzker was up in Matteson in a school district talking about the start of the school year and the importance of education to his administration, where he's pushing for continued increased funding for K through 12 schools. Here's the governor.
Now, from the beginning, when I was elected governor, I've made it my mission to ensure that our students get the quality education they deserve, no matter what zip code they live in, no matter what their income level is. We need fairness and equity in our education system, and also we needed to, frankly, invest in it, because it had been disinvested in for far too long. So since taking office, we've increased funding for K-12 education in Illinois by $2 billion. And I know money isn't the answer to everything, but you can't begin to solve the challenges without the resources.
So the governor talks about investing in education, but what about the Invest in Kids program? That's set to expire at the end of the year.
Well, that's not up to me, as you know. It's up to the legislature, and if the legislature wants to pass the Invest in Kids extension, I think that that's something that they should do. I also know how important it is that we support, kids who are going to private school too. And so however that gets done, I think the legislature is considering a number of options.
So the governor has previously said that he's open to some changes to it, maybe lowering the income tax credit from 75% to something else. But it's up to the legislature. Are they going to advance some kind of changes to the Invest in Kids program, or are they just going to let it expire? So the governor talked about the increased funds for K through 12 public schools, which right now is about $10.4 billion in the current fiscal year. They've increased funding $350 million every year for several years to now $10.4 billion. That is a fifth of the Illinois state budget. Similar spending line, pensions, about $10 billion that they're spending on pensions. So that's 2/5 of the state budget right there. Then when you look at the teacher pensions, that's about $6 billion. So a lot of money is going into K through 12 schools, and I think people would genuinely agree. They think more funding's good. And however, when you look at the outcomes are not good. General outcomes, the average across the state shows students just are not reading, writing, or doing math at grade level across the board. And then when you drill down in some different school districts, from Rockford to Decatur to elsewhere, it's even more abysmal, into the single digits as to the proficiency of students, say in third grade, reading or doing math. So obviously the public schools aren't having the best results. So there's this idea as part of the school funding formula rechange to have a Invest in Kids school scholarship program, the only school choice program that Illinois has, and it's limited. It takes private donations, puts it into a pot of money. Those donors get a 75% income tax credit on their donation, and then those dollars are then given and granted to families who are eligible, and they're low-income families, and then those families use those dollars, if they apply and they're eligible, to go to a private school of their choice, to take their kid out of a public school and put them into a private school. And one group in particular, Empower Illinois, a granting organization, they say that their satisfaction rate with the families who are taking advantage of this program is like 90+%. And about 90% if they're taking their kids out of public school and putting them into a private school of their choice, the outcomes are that much greater. So obviously there's some questions about whether or not this program is going to continue. The teachers union pushed back and they say this program diverts money away from public schools, and they're actually advocating for the elimination of this program. We'll talk with State Senator Andrew Chesney. I talked with him earlier this week. I'll air some of that for you here in moments, but of course I want to get your phone calls as they come in at 217-629-7970. We'll take a quick one here. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Greg, I used to support school choice, but it just seems like it never pans out the way it's supposed to. There always seems to be a grift. There always seems to be, yes, the choice is the school, and we choose who gets to go here. Whether, if you've got the money or if you've got the dollars, we still get final say. So if your kid's got a learning disability, didn't make the cut. Sorry. Public school, everybody's welcome. They just need to get a wrangle on it and figure out, if it's not funded, fund it. And if it is funded enough, figure out what's going wrong with it.
Yeah, because listen, I mean, $10+ billion in these school districts, and the outcomes aren't nearly the levels that you would anticipate. There's a lot of that need to consider, in the future. But listen, school voucher programs, they are what they are, and allowing a family to choose to get their kid out of a failing school to put them into a private school of their choice. Why not allow that option, especially if it's going to be funded by private donors who do get a tax credit, but they're getting private donors. And listen, the program Invest in Kids has a cap of $100 million. That's out. $100 million. That's it. Can't go higher than that, right? But right now they only have about $36 million in funds available to give out for these scholarship programs. So it's not even fully utilized, but it's set to expire. State Senator Andrew Chesney, he doesn't like the idea of allowing this to expire, and he says that this is indeed going to be the fight of the veto session coming up in late October.
I think the bigger fight is certainly the Invest in Kids and the renewal of the scholarships for our young kids that are in failing school systems that have parents that want to remove their children from these failing schools and put them in better schools. I think that's really the fight of veto session, is not only renewing that, but trying to get additional monies for it. The idea that outcomes are dictated by zip code is just outrageous. And, we have to strip the elitism out of the other side of the aisle when it comes to education. The fact that, all the legislators have the ability to send their kids to private schools, but don't want the kids in poorly performing schools to be able to send their kids is the height of hypocrisy. And so these credits help those that need it most, those that are the most vulnerable, and have been proven to be widely successful. They cut across all demographics, all races, and everybody that has taken advantage of these programs are certainly in favor of them. And, we have a lot of people down there that, lobby for this, that in many cases don't even come from my district, don't represent or live in my area.
So Chesney says he wants to see it extended and expanded, not reduced.
It's not. No, I mean, it actually should be renewed at a minimum and expanded if possible. I'm not under any illusion that it's going to be expanded. The governor, he's been running for president for quite a while now, and I'm sure he's going to continue on with the path of placating to the teachers unions and the union bosses in Chicago that dictate so much of our state policy, that are the ones responsible, the union bosses, for our failing systems, and those that just are simply not producing and turning out outcomes, most importantly for our kids.
So again, we'll see what happens with the Invest in Kids program. I'll be watching that closely when they come back for fall veto session. But there's a lot that they're going to be tackling for fall veto session, so we'll see if they can squeeze that in. If not, a lot of families are going to be left in the lurch. All right, that's all I got for you here with Springfield's Morning News on WMAY on this Friday. 8:54 now from Culver's West on Wabash. We'll wrap things up next.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
Work hard, sleep well with Bemco and Just Beds. You work hard, your stress is high. You need the best night's sleep possible. That's just what you'll get at Just Beds. All this month, save on Bemco mattresses. Twin mattresses $149, queen mattresses just $229. Just Beds features Bemco's Arctic Breeze, Max Life, and the all-new Arctic Life mattresses. As always, free delivery, setup, and removal. Work hard, sleep well. Visit the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montfield Drive, Springfield.
Just Beds. Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections, Springfield to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Clock Tower Community Bank, a division of Morton Community Bank, is more than just a place to keep your money. They care about you, your family, your favorite business, and the charities you support. Clock Tower Community Bank offers a full range of personal and business banking services. With 6 convenient locations in Springfield and Chatham, our experienced local bankers are here for you in every way. They're local people making local decisions for local success. So if you're looking for a bank that's everything you want in a community bank, visit Clock Tower Community Bank today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
It can happen easily. A few drinks becomes a few too many. It's time to go and you think of calling for a ride home. Nah, what's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club.
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Booyah! All right, that's all the time we've got today. Appreciate everybody chiming in, tuning in all week long. I'm ready for a weekend. So I'm going to get out there and enjoy myself, enjoy the weather. We're looking at a high today of 82 with plenty of sunshine. Saturday, clear skies, the high of 87. Sunday, sunny with a high of 89. Then Labor Day, 90 the high. By Tuesday, we're looking at a high of 88. Programming notes, I am off. I totally missed the trash back there. I am off on Monday, so no live show on Monday. Gonna sleep in, sip some coffee, and just enjoy the holiday weekend. So, guys, have a wonderful day. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. Like, subscribe, follow, email me, bishoponair@gmail.com. Find me on Facebook, X, or YouTube. Just search Bishop on Air. It's 9 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI studio.